Welcome to Movie House Cinemas. Popcorn? Yes, please. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the movie. Reclining chairs? Don't mind if I do. Action, thriller, romance, we got it all. Discover the cinema today. Movie House Cinemas, home of the movies.
Good evening, and welcome along to Rob and Elliott. Tonight, coming up on the show, we'll be chatting to TV presenter, antiques expert and star of Flog It, Paul Martin, is going to be with us a little bit later on. We'll be chatting to best-selling author Lucy McMullan, all about her new novel, Bells of Belfast. Donal O'Connor will be with us, telling us all about this year's Belfast TradFest. And Belfast's brand new night czar, Michael Stewart, will also be here telling us about his plans for the city. But as always, let's begin by talking about some of the big and more quirky news stories of the week. And to help us do it, I can't believe this, we've got two Paul Martins on the show this week. We've got the real one, Mr. Flog It, and then we've got the Mr. Showbiz version as well. Who's here? Paul Martin.
Well, can we just clarify? Can you send me the cheque for him, which I would imagine would be a lot more?
Yes.
Okay, because I know a bit about antiques.
Do you?
There's going to be a new football song, of course. Two Paul Martins. There's only two Paul Martins. There is today.
So what's the chances of that? You have been on the show for ages, and then the day you come back, there's two Paul Martins on the show.
I think there's only ever one Paul Martin, and we all know that. No matter how much I do like Paul Martin, I really do like the other Paul Martin.
Yeah.
He's no Paul Martin. Work that one out.
Right,
that's your nuts news.
Exactly. Let's talk news stories.
Yeah.
We're starting off by it could only be a man in America for this one, couldn't it?
This is insane.
Yeah.
We spoke about it earlier. We just both cracked up laughing. But this is real, folks. What I'm about to tell you is real. The headline reads, rare cancer causes an American man to develop an Irish accent despite never having lived there. This is brilliant. Or even been there. A rare form of prostate cancer caused a man in his 50s to suddenly speak with an Irish accent when he woke up from his operation.
And was it as bad as yours?
It was better. I hope it was slightly better than mine. You bleed, you need it. I sound like Alan Partridge, don't I?
You do.
You're bleeding, yes. Potatoes. That's actually quite good, Alan Partridge accent.
That's a good Alan. Your Alan Partridge is better than your Louis Walsh.
It really. I think Louis is okay now. I think my Louis accent's okay, Robin. It's okay. I just don't like anyone, but I love him. Right. Anyway, that's what he.
Slightly Italian Louis Walsh there.
It's Louis is always like that. Right. This is an amazing story. Now I have had this fact checked, which is something I've never said in my career with a straight face.
Yes.
Never said it in 25 years. So I fact checked.
There is medical evidence to back this up.
Well,
yes?
there is, and I also have Jenny the doc, of course, the missus in
Yes.
America. She says this does exist.
Okay.
The foreign accent syndrome is called FAS, not SAS. Is a rare speech disorder that can cause a patient who's come out of operation to suddenly speak in a different language when they wake up. So this guy did get up, and he, apparently, and I have checked as well, he still has the Irish accent a month on. He still has it.
Wow.
Unbelievable. That it's weird, but it's true. I heard a rumour about you once, that you just randomly one day started speaking French after a wild night out.
That's a true story, but
fluent French at that. Fluent French at that.
I'll keep that one for the book.
Yes, no, I'll get it out in the papers tomorrow. Don't worry about that.
So could the doctor who was operating on him, could he have been Irish? Is this where the Irish could have come from?
Well, apparently not.
Right.
Apparently not. Although that'd be a nice twist in the tale. And if I'd expect him to be on the show. If you can get two Paul Martins, you could definitely get that guy. Get the guy with the Irish accent. It'll be great. Like,
yeah.
Sure, it'll be grand. I'm sorry, folks. Don't hate me. I couldn't help it.
Right. From that story, we're moving on to the world's biggest game of hide and seek, aren't we?
This is the world hide and seek champion, without a doubt, isn't it? The unofficial hide and seek champion of the world. We can call him that here, can't we?
Yes.
Okay, it's Tony Seek. I love the headline. A boy hides a container during game of hide and seek, only to be found 6 days later in another country.
That's amazing.
Can you imagine? 15-year-old boy is found exhausted but safe. Thank goodness. After waking up in a container 6 days later and 2,000 miles after a game went wrong with his friends. There had been a massive, I'll give you a bit of background. In Bangladesh, he fell asleep That would be a problem if you're in a container that's boarding a ship at the time. And woke up some 2,000 miles away. He was found by Malaysian port staff and police in Port King nearly a week later after he said he was dehydrated, exhausted and crying for food, but otherwise fine.
Right, yes.
And then I would say definitely consoled by the fact that he got the gold medal for the hide and seek championship. It's unbelievable.
That is unbelievable.
It's a great story. Thank goodness it ended well.
Yes, exactly.
I will say that seriously, because that could have all gone very, very wrong.
Yeah, so he did get home safely. He was
And
reunited
to be honest, kids watching this today, and I have some kids as well, and they're all snowflakes. Up your game and hide and seek. You know, behind the curtain's not doing it anymore. You need to think big. Don't do that though. Do not do that.
Don't jump on a
Something
boat.
medium between that. No, don't. Just,
All right. One more from you. What have
do you want a big buck? Do you want look, HR people of the world, be careful, because they're usually very boring and very litigious, right?
Yes.
You would think so, wouldn't you? But they're not quite at Facebook and Google. Man stole 122 million, right? Was it some really high-level scheme, or like, you know, did he hack their system? You know, what? It must be a mastermind, right? A mastermind.
Yeah.
No, he simply got the 122 million by sending invoices to Facebook and Google for random bills that he just made up, and they paid them. They paid them. A man from Lithuania has pleaded guilty to stealing a total of 152 million by simply filling out invoices and banking the cash. Now, I'm not advising anybody to do such a thing.
No.
But I would say this, it's astonishing. Google took the worst hit, which was over 80 million. But it just shows.
It shows how much money these guys have to start with. They just pay out this money to random people.
I'm not going to lie. I don't think there's many people watching this right now saying, what an absolute, terror. They're just thinking, wow, if only I had known. There's a bit of that going on. Don't do it. But there's a bit of that. If it's so easy, you wouldn't get that here, would you?
No,
you
definitely
couldn't get away with £1 invoice here, I'm pretty
no,
sure.
exactly.
Yeah. Good luck, Paul Martin II, coming in for your invoice.
So there we go. That's your stories.
That's your
for this
stories,
week.
and that is all I'll be saying this week now to you there in my really bad Irish accent, Robin.
Right,
I'm out of
okay.
here. I didn't have an operation, you could tell, no Irish accent here.
He'll be back next week without the stupid accent, I promise. And the real Paul Martin is on the way shortly as well. Right, time for our first piece of music on the show this evening, and I must say a big congratulations to Ireland's First Lady of Country Music, Susan McCann, who got a recent Lifetime Achievement Award at the Local Woman Awards here in Belfast. I had the pleasure of presenting Susan with that award. So let's play something from the lady herself. Here she is. Here's Susan McCann.
He loved his old rocking chair. You would always find him there, smoking his pipe and rocking off to sleep. I'd run and jump into his lap, wake him from his daily nap, and tell him secrets he would always keep. The old man on the porch with the sun going down, with the little girl beside him that makes his world go round. Forever in my heart there will always be the old man on the porch and me. He was a man with callous hands, lifted up his old milk cans. It seemed to me they weighed 1,000 tons. He was up before the break of day, chopping wood and making hay. He never stopped until the day was done. The old man on the porch with the sun going down, with the little girl beside him that makes his world go round. Forever in my heart there will always be the old man on the porch and me. Like summertime for us all. True enough, the winter winds will blow. Although the years slip away, his memory will never fade. It follows me wherever I may go. The old man on the porch with the sun going down, with the little girl beside him that makes his world go round. Forever in my heart there will always be the old man on the porch and me. The old man on the porch and me.
And we'll be keeping it country a little bit later on with new music from Nathan Carter. We'll also be telling you about this year's Belfast TradFest, and we're going to be chatting to Belfast's brand new night czar, Michael Stewart, right after these.
Is your child a budding chef? Do you think they could be the next culinary sensation, the rising star young chef of the year? If your child is aged between 10 and 16, this is their chance to shine. Simply send a short video of them cooking their signature dish and telling us a little bit about themselves, along with their details to youngchefni@gmail.com. Entries close June 30th, 2024, so get your child's entry in now.
Heading to the North Coast, the Jet Centre in Coleraine offers entertainment for everyone. There's an 8-screen movie house cinema with all the best movies, 10-pin bowling, a massive arcade, soft play for the wee ones. Outdoors, there's a mini fun park and gem mining, plus an 18-hole floodlit mini golf course. Rain or shine, there's something for everyone here at the Jet Centre. Find out more at thejetcentre.co.uk.
And welcome back to Robin Elliott tonight. My next guest has been involved in the hospitality industry here in Northern Ireland for something like 38 years now. He's also taken on a brand new role as the Night Czar of Belfast. We're going to find out all about that because Michael Stewart joins us now. How are you, sir?
I'm very well, Robin. Thank you for having me.
Well, congratulations on the new role, because it seems like the media have gone crazy around it, haven't they?
It's 3 weeks today since it was announced, and it has been a media frenzy, I'll put it as that, which is good, because it shows there's an interest in it. But it's a matter of making all that goodwill and good messages of hope into action. And the honeymoon period will finish. There were pieces in the Sunday Life yesterday. There's more today in the various media. So, yeah, all good, and let's see what we can do.
So the whole Night Czar thing is not something exclusive to Belfast. It's been running around the UK already, and in Ireland, and in the south of Ireland as well, hasn't it?
I literally bumped into a girl from the Netherlands just outside the studios, and she says, "What are you going to do about the nighttime buses? We can travel anywhere in The Hague and Amsterdam." And I said, funny, one of the first nightmares, as they were called, was developed in Amsterdam.
Wow.
A guy called Malik, forget his surname. But there are a number throughout the UK. We've got Sasha Lord in Manchester, Carly Heath in Bristol, Amy Lame in London. All different aspects, different money, different salaries, different regimes and different options. But in Ireland, outside of Northern Ireland, there are 9.
Wow.
Which, when I went for the interview, I did my research, ranging from Dublin to Sligo.
Yes, yeah.
All working for the councils and all being paid by the councils. So, difference about this is the 3 bids, the business improvement districts being Cathedral Quarter, Belfast 1 and Linen Quarter, are funding this and organising it, which means I'm not answerable to the council or the executive or anybody. So, as I said in the newspaper, I will say it as it needs to be said, and hopefully we get results because of that.
And your salary has been reported as well, so you're not doing this for the money
Correct.
either.
And I said that on some very well-known radio shows, reportedly the biggest show in the country. But I was asked these questions, and I said, obviously I'm not doing it for the money, because if I was, I wouldn't. So I'm doing it because I'm passionate about Belfast. As you know, I've been past president of the Belfast Chamber. So I do a lot of voluntary work with the universities. I sit on various boards, but I do it because I genuinely want Belfast to be a better place. The mission or the vision statement that I was asked to prepare for the interview is now a mantra, and it's that Belfast becomes the best nighttime economy on the island of Ireland.
We're seeing Belfast has been voted over the past few months as like the best city to come to for a short break, the best, we're getting there, aren't we?
Yeah. Well, I think we've got there.
Yeah.
We just need to go further. 38 years, as you say, Robin. Actually, as of today, I'm in my 39th year.
Wow.
I remember it vividly when I started in the industry. I think we are very critical of ourselves. When we get the tourists coming in, and there was literally a piece just released at the weekend by Condé Nast, I can't remember the exact magazine, but saying that Belfast is a fantastic place from what it was. And yes, we've all gone through the troubles, we've all gone through troubles, the same way other cities are going through their own troubles. So we're not unique, we do have issues, but sometimes I just think we're a little bit too critical. We need to sort those issues, and we need to sort some of them very quickly. And that's why I think, I went on the record and saying, I believe Belfast is world class. And that will bring in a lot of criticism.
Yeah.
But I believe it, and a lot of people in Belfast believe it as well.
A lot of people say, yes, it is world class when it comes to attracting tourism here as well. But what about looking after our own people who can't go for a night out? If you're living outside Belfast, you can't get a bus home at night. Nighttime transport is the biggest issue, isn't it?
100%. So it's been well documented in that media frenzy. I've identified, there are a number of issues and a number of priorities, but the four that I've identified as, I hate the word low-lying fruit, I prefer early opportunities. Top of the agenda, late night connectivity, which is late night buses, taxis, any other form of transport. And if people want to increase the bicycle network, so you can cycle from city centre of Belfast to Bangor and leave the bike there, so be it. Second, VOG, which is better known as Violence Against Women and Girls, pedestrianisation and pavement cafe licensing. If we get that piece of the jigsaw of late night transport, that will hopefully start to sort out some of the issues around the perception of Belfast not being a safe city. It might also lead to other options of late night coffee shops and other things, because nighttime economy is just not hospitality, it's everything. This morning in the press, I said that one of my other priorities was to get Culture Night back running, because I believe culture is the magic dust for Belfast.
So are you going to go yourself and speak to people like TransLink?
Yes,
Yeah.
have done.
Yeah.
I've spoken already, as I say, 3 weeks in the role today. I've probably used up all the hours that are available for the whole month in 2 weeks. I've spoken to the licensed taxi associations. I've had numerous conversations with TransLink. But most interestingly, Conor Murphy, the Minister for the Economy, mentioned on the floor of the Assembly after a question from Paula Bradshaw, what was he doing? And he said, we are supporting the nighttime economy, and we look very much forward to working with the new night Czar, Michael Stewart, and my department have been tasked to meet him, and I've already met them. I've met with them, I've met with TransLink, Licensed Taxi Association, and numerous other bodies and people, bar owners, cinema operators, theatres, and the thing that keeps coming through is connectivity, late night transport. So the whole point of Department of Economy and others is to make sure the funding is there so that TransLink can deliver a fit-for-purpose nighttime transport system.
Because they've already put the prices up on the bus and train fares. They've got this new, nice, fancy transport hub that's costing millions and millions, but yet we still don't have nighttime. We only have nighttime buses at Christmas. It's like, do people only come out at Christmas time?
Did you see my strapline in the newspaper?
I did, yes.
A night bus is not just for Christmas, it's for life. So that's struck a chord with a lot of people. But again, just so we're clear, TransLink aren't paying for the transport hub. The DFI and the government are paying, I believe, 340 million. But as I said to TransLink, a lot of the perception will be that it is TransLink that is doing this, but yet they can put up fares, whatever. It just might rub against them a bit when we get that in the autumn and there's still no night transport. So that's where the conversations and the partnerships come, so that we can try and help TransLink to get this over the line.
What can be done about the taxi situation as well? Because this is still a knock-on from COVID, really, isn't it?
I met with the Licensed Taxi Association some weeks ago, and I have to say I was shocked, Robin. I didn't realise there are 4 categories of taxis. I'm not going to get into it because I'm not the expert, and really it's themselves that need to talk about this. But part of the legislation for recruiting taxi staff is not fit for purpose. And I could go on and on about that, but it's not fit for purpose. It needs to be reformed, and I'm trying to help the taxi associations and taxi operators with that to try and put my partnerships and advocacy to try and sort that. Because yes, it has been a knock-on, and it can take between 16 weeks to 6 months for somebody applying to be a taxi driver to become a taxi driver, and by that time they just say, you know what? The other thing is, everybody is regulated, but some of those regulations allow some categories of taxi to charge whatever they want, which leads to the black market and pirate taxis taking place, which leads into people having the perception that they don't feel safe trying to get home at night.
Yeah.
Back to late night transport. If we can get that bus service sorted, that might take some of the pressure off the taxis.
What about feeling safe on our city streets? Because I've noticed over the past few months, I was in the Grand Opera House the other night and I came out and there was almost a riot going on in the streets. There was bodies flying everywhere, there was police involved. We're seeing so many more people off their head on alcohol, on drugs, and they're fighting in the streets of Belfast, and we're seeing this on a daily basis. What can we do to stop that?
Yeah, well, I'm not sure they're fighting on a daily basis, but I hear you and I get that, and I'm a realist. I see that as other cities have it. This is a police issue.
Yeah.
It's a police issue, and as we know, the police are under pressure with resources and everything else. That then links into, some of these altercations could be totally non-drug or alcohol related, but inevitably a number of them are. That needs a multitask approach. All the agencies have to be involved in that. And as much as it's a day issue, not involved, I don't come out before 9 o'clock. If I do, I turn to dust. So it's a day issue, but it obviously links into the whole ethos of Belfast, because when everybody's doing well, all the boats float. Yeah. Retail helps hospitality, hospitality helps retail, and the whole culture of Belfast. So it is a problem, there's no doubt about that. But it's the police and the other agencies that need to deal with this and try and get this. Instead of looking at the symptoms, they need to go to the root cause and try and sort out the root cause.
What about the amount of homeless people that we see on the streets of Belfast at night? Will you have some kind of input into what can be done about that to help them? Or?
Again, that's a conversation that the police and the agencies have to have. For the night Czar, which is a very part-time role. I dare say I will have an opinion, and people may ask the opinion, because again, it depends how that does or doesn't impact on nighttime economy. But that's an approach that a lot of people have adopted already. But it'll certainly be on my radar, and it's a conversation with the various agencies.
So how far have you planned in advance then? Have you kind of have some kind of steps that you want to achieve things by a certain date? What's the kind of the goal then?
Not sure if as soon as possible.
Yeah.
But as you know, well, I'll give you a clue. As I say, I'd like to think that a night bus is for life, not just for Christmas.
Yeah.
But my view, and I've said this openly, is that any nighttime, late night transport that we get needs to be well in place before Christmas.
Yeah.
For two reasons. One, motivation is what gets us started on anything, but habit is what keeps us going. Yeah. And we need to develop that habit. So people need to realise if they can get a bus, let's hypothetically say in October, late at night, that they know they can get that October, November, December. But the big thing is to keep this sustainable for a capital city of Northern Ireland, is that continues all year. Yeah. And that means for the quiet Januaries, Februaries, TransLink needs support from DFI and any other bodies that help to fund that. And of course, the customers. The customers need to support this. No point getting a late night transport system in if it's not used.
Yes, exactly.
A bit like people saying the streets are dirty. As I said on a radio show the other week, I believe the streets are better than they were, absolutely. But if you want to stop litter being thrown in the streets, talk to the people who threw it down, not the people trying to clean it up.
Exactly. Michael, the best of luck with your
Thank
new
you.
role as Night Czar, and as always, good to see you.
You too, thank you.
Thank you. Now, it's nearly that time of year once again for Belfast TradFest. It's back soon with loads of great events happening this year. And Donal O'Connor from TradFest will be telling us all about this year's highlights after we play you some music from a lady who will be appearing at this year's Belfast TradFest. We're talking about Moya Brennan.
A war strong in numbers burns the midnight candle. The brave Armin Aram stands before them now, up against the wind. Old ways up against the wind. The game is in their hands, calling out their color. Together, Mr. Courage, recognize the power. Make a stand before them. Always follows the beaten track against the wind.
So there we go, Moya Brennan, who's just one of many great artists appearing at this year's Belfast TradFest. We'll take a look at all the highlights of what's happening this year with Donal O'Connor right after these.
Here we are on the north coast, where sporting legends are made. He needs this putt to advance to the next stage, but can he do it? The crowd are holding their breath. Can he cope with the pressure?
Dad, would you take the shot?
Well, So there we go. Great to see Belfast TradFest back. It runs between the 21st and the 28th of July. And as always, it's good to see Donal O'Connor joining us in the studio. How are you, sir?
I'm very good, Robin. Great to be back.
Another packed year. It just seems to be getting bigger and better every year, doesn't it?
Well, it seems like yesterday when I was last here talking to you about the 2023 edition, and this is our 6th edition this year, and so we had our first one in 2017, a couple of years of a break during the unmentionable.
Yes.
And we're back. It almost feels like this is our 3rd edition, you know, having picked up again, and it is just growing from strength to strength. This year we have 370 events. Wow. Over 8 days.
That takes some programming.
Well, it is. We have a lot of different individual events taking place. A large bulk of them is the summer school.
Yes.
So we have 40 tutors this year, 43 tutors, teaching music for all levels. So from absolute beginners on things like boron and tin whistle, sean-nós dancing, set dancing, and then all the way up to the intermediate and the more advanced. And that full programme of afternoon events at the summer school as well. 52 afternoon events, talks, lectures, film screenings, ceilidhs, discussions, taster sessions, you name it.
And what always fascinates me as well, when it comes to the big master classes that you do, you get these worldwide names. These guys are worldwide famous. And again, you've got some coming in this year, haven't you?
Yeah, and it's becoming easier and easier to entice these people here because the word is spreading about the festival. And when a tutor comes once, they're mad to come back. So we have the likes of Mary Bergen returning, the world's greatest tin whistle player according to the Irish Times. We have Joni Madden coming from the United States of America, the front woman of Cherish the Ladies, the greatest supergroup. We have one of the greatest uilleann pipers of all time, Mick O'Brien. We have just an amazing array of talent coming from Scotland. We have Finn Moore, the great small piper. And we have people coming from all over this island and all over the world, yeah. And
we will have a live performance as well from Cherish the Ladies.
Yeah, on Saturday the 27th in the Mandela Hall. It's an afternoon concert. It's a family-friendly concert, all ages. Cherish the Ladies put on a spectacular show of traditional Irish song, music and dance. And they'll have some amazing dancers, world champion dancers with them. So that's a real treat in the afternoon. And then that evening, our festival finale concert is an incredible new band. This is their Irish debut at Belfast TradFest on Saturday the 27th of July in the Mandela Hall, and they're called Bird. They're an 11-piece all-female band pulled together by the amazing banjo player and harper Lisa Kenny, and she has just an all-star cast of fiddles and harps and flutes and concertinas and drums. And again, there are multiple All-Ireland winners in that group who are multiple All-Ireland instrumental winners, but also dance champions. So that's sure to be an incredible night. And also on the bill that night is Polka Cahir, the West Kerry fiery, vibrant, energetic dance band. So we're really excited about that night.
Now, when it comes to trad music, Lunasa have always been a massive name in the industry. They're going to be at the festival as well, aren't they?
Yeah, Lunasa have kind of picked up where the Bothy Band left off.
Yeah.
We were very fortunate to have the Bothy Band with us here at our winter weekend in February for their first gig since 1979. But Lunasa, who formed in the mid-90s, were founded with a Belfast piper at the time, John McSherry, but now have a brilliant Armagh uilleann piper, Killian Valley, with them. They're one of the top names in traditional music, and we're thrilled to have them at Belfast TradFest. We had them back in 2019, thrilled to have them back, and they're sharing the bill this year with Lumiere, the great song group from West Kerry, Pauline Scanlon, Ailish Kennedy and Donna Hennessy. So that'll be an exemplar night of traditional music in the Empire Music Hall.
Somebody that I'm looking forward to seeing, and I haven't seen her for quite some time, is Moya Brennan, who's always good, isn't she?
Well, Moya Brennan is the voice of Celtic music. Yeah. She's the goddess of Celtic music, they say, and the voice of Clannad, of course. Yeah. Clannad have retired, but Moya is continuing under her own band umbrella with two of her own family members, her son Paul and her daughter Aisling Jarvis, and they're joined by the great harper Cormac de Barra and the brilliant fiddler from Glasgow, stroke Donegal, Claire Friel. So that'll be an exciting lineup. And on the bill that night also is Zoe Conway, the great Dundalk fiddler, and her partner in crime and in life, John McIntyre on guitar. So an amazing double bill. We'll have fantastic fiddling, we'll have fantastic singing, and that's the opening concert at the festival.
Brilliant. Tell me about the Belfast Harp Festival.
Well, in 1792, just a stone's throw from here on Donegal Street in the Assembly Rooms, the most important one, many would say, event in traditional music terms took place. The Belfast Merchant Presbyterian classes gathered together and formed the Harp Society and invited the last remaining itinerant harpers who were under patronage to come to Belfast and to perform. Many of these harpers were in their 70s and 80s. And the music was notated by Edward Bunting, a young organist who was in the cathedral here at the time. I think he was only 16 or 17 years of age. And the notation of that music and the writing down of that music was hugely significant, because without that we would have lost much of that music. So that's the Bunting Collection, which is housed in Queen's University, and we celebrate that event and that historic occasion with a harp festival concert. This year will take place in the Crescent Arts Centre, for our first time having a Belfast TradFest event in the beautiful Crescent Arts Centre. We're very thrilled to be partnering with the Crescent Arts Centre, and we'll have Aisling Lyons on harp, we'll have Eilish Lavelle on harp, we'll have the RT Radio 1 Folk Award Singer of the Year, Muir Nagauliv, presenting the event and singing some songs from the Bunting Collection. We'll have Pádraig Keane on uilleann pipes, Mary McGuigan on sean Stanson, and the aforementioned Mary Bergin, the world's greatest tin whistler. So that's a very exciting event.
You're also exploring music through bagpipes as well this year. And I know at your launch you had that fabulous bagpiper outside the Deer's Head.
That's right. Well, I mean, at the core of what we do is a cross-cultural, cross-traditions ethos. So we bring people from the world of harp and of fiddles and flutes together with people from the world of piping and drumming. And our celebration concert of Scottish and Irish music called With Pipe and Drum takes place this year in the beautiful Titanic Drawing Rooms. And we have the Campbell College Pipe Band. We have Glengormley School of Traditional Music. We have Andy McGregor, the great piper and member of the Belfast TradFest board, who's hosting the night. We have Graham Harris of Harris Piping and Harris Kilts. You'll know the shop on Sandy Row. And Graham is the leader of the cross-border, the bagpipe leader of the cross-border orchestra and many other amazing ensembles. So excited to have him on board. And then we have Mick McCauley from the group Solace, who will be singing some songs. We have Joni Madden from Cherish the Ladies. And last year we had an amazing coming together of boron and snare drum. So Mark Wilson, the great snare drummer and BBC broadcaster, and Amy Farrell Courtney, world champion boron player, they came together, collaborated, and they're going to come together this year, and it's very exciting to see what might come from that.
Brilliant. So much to look forward to. If people want to get tickets, if they want to check out the full programme, where can they go to for
We're
that?
on all the social channels, and we're on our website is belfasttradfest.com, and there are plenty of tickets left for many of the concerts. Some of the concerts are sold out already. And we also run, I should mention, Robin, we run a bursary scheme for young musicians to attend the summer school, and we reach out to local businesses and organisations and individuals who can make a huge difference to a young musician's life by giving them the opportunity to spend a week in immersive educational setting in the university, in Ulster University here. So this year we have raised 70 bursaries, which we're giving out to young musicians from this city and from further afield. And if anybody would like to donate to the bursary scheme or has a young musician in mind who might be suitable for the scheme, they can get in touch on the website. There's a tab there for bursary sponsorship.
We must also mention the Titanic Ceilidh. That looks like it's going to be good fun.
Yes, this is becoming a big annual event. And last year we had 6,000 people dancing on the slipways.
Wow.
The Titanic slipways on Belfast's Maritime Mile. We're very grateful to Maritime Belfast for supporting the event alongside Belfast City Council. And it's an outdoor, family, free, fun Ceilidh event. We have the All-Ireland champion Blackwater Ceilidh Band. We have Rosie Stewart, the great Fermanagh singer. We have Jack Warnock, the brilliant young County Derry singer who was in here last year. We have Clammery First, the Belfast Wren Boys. We have Ard's Coltas Culture Earn, who are making a bid for the Fleadh Cheoil to come to Belfast in 2026, which we're all very excited about. And we have Glengormley School of Traditional Music and lots of free family fun events, face painting, boron circles, all sorts of family fun activities. So we're hoping this year that we might get 10,000 people on the slipways. And it takes place on Sunday, the 21st of July, between 1 and 5 p.m.
Brilliant. Well, the best of luck with this year's festival. Good
Thank
to
you,
see
Robin.
Thank you. And welcome back to Robin Elliott tonight. My next guest has just had her very own book published. It's called Bells of Belfast. Already it's picking up great reviews. It's been described as Sex in the City meets Bridget Jones with a dash of the irreverent spirit of Derry Girls. Pretty big stuff. Let's chat to Lucy McMullan, who joins us now. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, thank you for joining us. So congratulations on getting the book out there. It's a long time coming, isn't it?
Yeah, 4 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how did it feel then to eventually get the book in your hand for the first time?
The most surreal feeling in the world. I can't even describe, to be honest, when I finally held it. It was like holding a newborn baby, like, oh, I made this.
So was this always kind of your dream? Were you writing stories as a young person? How did it all come about?
Yeah, I mean, I love reading. I've always loved reading. From I was no age, and then that obviously manifested into writing and storytelling in all different forms, in video, audio, podcasting, and then in Bells of Belfast.
Okay, so tell us about Bells of Belfast, because the thing that I love about it, there's no religion in it.
Yes.
There's no paramilitary organisations in it or anything like that. It's a better side of Belfast, isn't it?
Well, I wanted to write something that I was dying to read, and I couldn't find it.
Yeah.
I just couldn't find stories about Belfast that were about metropolitan city living, you know, modern day, like single girls in the city. And our city has so much to offer. All I could find was Protestant Catholic, division, and quite often quite sad stories. So I wanted to write something that changed all that, essentially.
And the thing about the book as well, you mentioned so many places that people will recognise in the city, so many fabulous venues get a name check in them, don't they?
They do, yes. Yeah, they're described so people locally will go, oh, I've been there, and hopefully people abroad will go, oh, I want to go there.
Exactly. So tell us about the characters in the book then. Who do we meet?
So the main character is Anna. She's a young woman who's just going through a breakup and is dealing with all of those insecurities and the feelings like, oh, was I not good enough? Was I not worthy? And she goes on a massive self-love journey, sharing her dating stories through the podcast, and the podcast is called Bells of Belfast. And she has two best friends, Olivia and Grace. Olivia is Miss Sensuality and is kind of the female version of a womanizer.
Right.
So she gets all the men, essentially.
Yeah.
And is very different to Anna in that sense. And then we have Grace, who is Miss Sensibility, who's on a man ban. She wants nothing to do with men. She's focused on her career. So quite different dynamics between the girls, and it's shared through the podcast. But they all go on very different journeys, which I think is quite interesting.
And I would imagine in characters that a lot of people can relate to as well.
Absolutely, yeah, through all walks of life, and I think all ages as well. Whether you're someone older reflecting on your youth and dating different men, or you're someone young being like, oh, I'm going through that right now.
Exactly. So I would imagine then there might be some more stories from these guys. Is this going to be a one-off, or will there be any more?
Who knows? I have to see how people like the first one.
Yeah.
I'd love to write more.
But already, I mean, the reviews you've been getting have been fabulous, haven't they?
Yeah, it's been crazy. It's been very overwhelming, but everything I could dream of and more. Yeah.
What I've been reading already from the book, and I haven't read the whole thing yet, I've read a little bit of it, but already I'm starting to see visions in my head and things, so this might turn into a good screenplay, I would imagine.
Yeah, who knows what will happen.
Is that the plan?
Yeah, well, yeah, of course, that's the dream, isn't it?
Yeah.
Who knows? Can't give away too much.
Tell us about some more of the locations mentioned in the book as well, because as we've said, it's good for people who live in the city, it's good for tourism coming in here as well, but I mean places like the Duke of York, the Harp Bar, the Merchant Hotel, Muriel's, all places that we know and love.
Absolutely. I mean, Belfast is so full of culture, and I just feel like it's not really shown as much as it could be in terms of modern day.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of the stories based around Northern Ireland are conflict, but I wanted to show like the metropolitan city life, like the feeling you get when you walk down Duke of York on a Friday night and it's all lit up by the neon lights is magical, and it's just this feeling of like, oh, pride, like I'm from Belfast and this is amazing.
And those neon lights now are now world famous. When people mention Belfast, that's the clip
what
they
they
kind
think
of show, don't they? Yeah,
exactly. And when you think of shows, for example, like Sex and the City, you think of the Plaza Hotel in New York and how incredible it is, or the Boathouse. We don't have shows in Belfast that really, I feel like, represent that. They're set in the city, but they don't highlight the amazing places that we have. So we have the Merchant Hotel, for example, which when you walk into it, it's like opulent. It's like Gatsby.
Yeah, exactly,
you know?
yes, yeah.
And I really wanted to showcase that in the best way through the book, and then hopefully translate it onto screen as well.
Who would have thought, even when you look back 20 years ago, that we'd be fast forwarding to now and we'd be chatting about Belfast the same as we do about New York and about places like that? It's fabulous, isn't it?
It's amazing. It's the way it should be.
So there we go. Well, the book's out now, I would imagine, from all good bookstores and Amazon and places like
Yes,
that. Yeah,
Waterstones, W.H. Smith, Barnes & Noble in America, all the spots.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
And are you thinking about a second book at the moment, or what's?
I would love to. I have a couple of other ideas that are separate to Bells, which I might dive into first.
Yeah.
Because this has been very intense.
I would say so. Well, the best of luck anyway with the book.
So
and
much.
Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it.
And still to come on Rob and Elliott tonight, we'll have some brand new music from Nathan Carter, and we'll be chatting to a TV presenter, antiques expert and star of TV's Flog It, Paul Martin. We'll be taking a look at some new research that reveals the things that are most important to us and how we can protect them. We'll be chatting to Paul Martin right after these.
Let the good times roll at Super Strikes at the Jet Centre. You can now book your lane online. We've got 14 bowling lanes and 4 mini bowling lanes. Plus we serve delicious hot food and snacks, or enjoy a cold beverage with your food after the game. Discover bowling today at the Jet Centre. Jet Centre, entertainment for everyone.
And welcome back to Rob and Elliott tonight. Time to meet another fabulous guest who's always welcome on the show. You'll know him for TV shows such as Flog It. He is a TV presenter and antiques expert. And today we're talking about some new research that has revealed the things that are most important to us and how we can protect them. We've also found out a list of the nation's most worrying things as well. And to talk about this further, I'm pleased to say Paul Martin joins us on the line. Paul, how are you today?
I'm very well, thank you, Robin. And I'd like to say hello to everybody in Northern Ireland. You know, what a great part of the world it is. I love Belfast.
So I think it's been 5 years since we last saw you here in Belfast at Holiday World. You were doing the opening of that, so you've got to come back and see us sometime soon.
Oh, we will do. We're always filming, you know. The new show I'm doing with Channel 5, you know, when it gets a recommission, we will be over there, you know. It's a little more expensive to get over there, but, you know, we started hitting Scotland, we did a bit of Wales, so our next destination is definitely Northern Ireland. So we will see you soon.
Brilliant. So what about the TV show then for Channel 5? You seem to be knocking out episodes all the time. It seems never ending.
Flog It was a volume series. It's the volume of scale enables you to make it, because TV is quite expensive to make nowadays, you know, and there's not a lot of money in it, as you know, especially with the BBC. So the more you do, the cheaper the show gets to make. So constantly with Flog It, we were making a series of 80 each year. It was a linear strand, and that sadly ended a few years ago, but it's still on our TV screens every single day, and it's doing the business. Channel 5 have put this idea together that they pitched to me and said, would I front it and present it and give me my name in the title? It's very much like Flog It meets The Antiques Road Trip, meets Bargain Hunt, and meets Put Your Money Where Your Mouth Is. So it's kind of like a compilation of them all banged together, and it's just jolly good fun. But there are different new bits in it. We have this kind of challenge in the back of the van where we don't know what's going on, and we got to sell all the lots in the back of the van. And also I'm on the rostrum at the end of the show, so it's a bit like, well, I valued that for Mrs. Smith, you know, up in Alnwick, you know, this bag of sort of Scottish pipes or something, and now I've got to sell them on the rostrum. So I'm kind of, you know, putting my expertise to the test by actually doing it myself, rather than saying, oh, it's not our day in the auction room, the auctioneer didn't fancy it, or there was no one around that day. So yeah, the pressure is on, and it's a great little show, so catch it. It's on in the evenings.
So Paul, is there ever a day in your life that doesn't involve antiques?
No, not really, because even on my days off, I'm always I'm always on the internet looking. I'm addicted. It's my oxygen, okay? It's got me where I am today. My uncle was an antique dealer. He taught me most things. I was always into art and woodwork at school, so that's where my love of furniture came from. I worked in the film prop business at Pinewood, making things, making film sets and supplying antiques and, shabby chic stuff. And then it got me onto the real stuff in the Portobello Road, and I've had a few shops since. So, and that's how the BBC discovered me in one of my shops in Marlborough in Wiltshire.
So talk us through this new research then. We've discovered what the nation are mostly worried about. So was there anything that surprised you from this research?
No, not really. I mean, we are a nation of worriers, let's face it, and it's not just valuable things, priceless things. A lot of us haven't got valuable things. It's more tech and cars, but it's the sentimental value on items that my grandparents have left me, my wife's grandparents, and that generation. We've looked after a few things that we now cherish, and my kids have been brought up with them, and thankfully they met grandma. They didn't meet granddad, but, they knew grandma had this fruit bowl, and now we look at this fruit bowl every single day and we enjoy it. It's beaten up, it's warped, it's cracked, but it's a piece of turned bur elm, and it looks beautiful. And it's hers, so there's this connection to the past. So we've all got this connection to the past that we must kind of log into if we can, and we need to protect that. And it's not just about staying connected to that, but it's about staying connected to our loved ones, our kids at home. If we're away working, with Ring we can actually see what's going on in the house. It's a wonderful product. We can also keep an eye on our pets, which is a good thing, and just make sure that everything is hunky-dory. So it means we can enjoy what we're doing, go out and earn the bread and butter, or go on holiday, have a good time without the worry, because we know we are being connected.
So things like home security, that's a big worry for people, especially when they're on holiday.
Oh, it is. Just under 50%, over 40%, under 50%. Yeah, it's the worry about going away, and if you haven't got house sitters and you don't have an alarm, everybody is really, really worried. And sometimes that can ruin your holiday and give you a bad time. You don't want to go away and leave the lights on, draw the curtains, make sure the radio comes, all of these silly little things people do. But at the end of the day, you can do one simple thing, get a product like this, and it's going to make your life a lot easier.
Also, losing your personal data, that's something that's really big at the moment, and something that people are really worried about. The same as losing your online identity as well. That's a big one.
That's frightening for me, because I'm not very tech minded, and it scares me to death. I don't even do internet banking because I'm so frightened of it. I really don't. I think the younger kids are slightly more savvy with it, because they know everything's backed up. They know that everything they can get access to. But if you're not tech minded, it is quite a minefield. You need your kids to help you out nowadays.
And then there's all the sentimental stuff as well that we carry about on a daily basis, like photographs and videos in our phones and things. And if they're stolen or we lose them, again, that's pretty worrying for people too.
Going back to the times of old when, I was a kid and my mum and dad were, frightened of going away in case the house got burgled, it was the photographs and the sentimental values that would worry them. And those are the things that, if you lost your photographs back in the 1970s, they weren't replaceable.
So as well as your obsession with antiques, Paul, are you a bit of a hoarder?
I'm not allowed to be. If I buy anything now, I've got to smuggle it into the house, or it goes in the garage or the barn. I'm not joking. I get told off. I really do. I think we got enough.
Well, Paul, as always, it's good to see you. Thank you so much for joining us on the show, and come back and see us in Belfast sometime soon.
Okay, you take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Robin.
So that's all we have time for on the show this week. A big thank you to all of my guests. Thank you for watching as well, and to play us out some brand new music from Nathan Carter. This is called Listen to the Radio. See you next week. Bye-bye.
I am leaving Mississippi in the evening rain. These Delta towns were satin gowns in a high-beam frame. Loretta Lynn guides my hand through the radio, where
would I be in times like these without the songs Loretta wrote? And if you can't find a friend to sing at the radio,